Lou here. You know, one of my most requested videos is usually my crazy ass unpopular opinions. Usually because I tend to start wars or people booing me because I'm right. Since so many people like to hear my unpopular opinions apparently, here's a fun video of an anime I hate that everyone else likes. So roll the intro and let's get started. Killa. Yes, it has some pretty damn good animation, catchy opening song, and very iconic designs. However, I just could never get into it. I would hear about the premise over and over again and knew dozens of people who love this anime, but I just don't like it. Maybe it's because I'm not a fan of someone's boobs and ass constantly in my face to a point where it's like your friend walking in front of the TV during a quick time event in a video game. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm not attracted to women in the slightest, and that's why I find all that fan service to be annoying. But I just don't like it. It's also a little bit too mindfuckery for my liking, and I'm not a fan of constant mindfucks. I think it's just a little bit too Gainax-y for my liking. Your Name. Yes, another anime with absolutely beautiful animation. Like, I won't lie that the animation in Your Name is absolutely breathtaking. However, the story is pretty much non-existent. It's basically Freaky Friday mixed with a Save the World story, and it's about as messy and confusing as it sounds. Now, the whole story is basically symbolism for a long-distance relationship. Now, I don't give a flying fuck nugget if you have a long-distance relationship yourself. You do you, and I'm not gonna judge because, like, whatever makes you happy. However, I am personally not someone who likes the idea of a long-distance relationship for myself. So, like, I wasn't really the target audience for this. Kinda obvious since the people who praised this movie had a long-distance relationship or a relationship that made it difficult to work, which isn't really me, fam. Maybe in another timeline, one where Final Fantasy Versus 13 was made and Ouran Host Club got a season 2, there's a Lou who would relate to this movie who would have enjoyed it way more, but as it stands, I just didn't care for it. Also, the characters are very flat, which, by the way, the director himself actually says that he believes he rushed the script of the movie too much and doesn't like the way the story turned out, so that's a thing. I would say the American remake might fix this, but let's be honest with ourselves, it's gonna be Death Note all over again. Re:Zero. I know Re:Zero is a pretty well-received light novel isekai, but here's the tea, fam. Here is the fucking hot tea. Isekai are just harems with a fantasy skin. And I personally don't like most harem anime. I don't like the idea of anyone playing mind games with a bunch of suitors and always picking the worst fucking possible choice just because that one sold more body pillows or some shit. Re:Zero is no exception. The story is irritatingly lazy, like it gives no fucks in trying to seem like it's an actual story instead of just a harem with a fantasy skin over it. Not to mention, Emilia is a bitch, and frankly, I don't like tsunderes. Like, outside of anime like Love is War, tsunderes are usually just absolutely fucking awful. Worst case scenario when you have a tsundere love interest is they're verbally, and maybe even physically, abusive person. And I really don't know why you would fantasize about being in a relationship with someone who insults you 24/7 and treats you like trash. Like, maybe you should get that looked at if you genuinely have a thing for verbal abuse. Cause, that's not healthy, my dudes. I'm not just saying all this because Rem is best girl, because she is. It's just character tolerance is a big thing for me. If I have to see Bitch McGee treat people like shit for 25 episodes, then, I'm not gonna watch it. Naruto. First of all, I have a major issue with anime that are too long. The maximum limit I'll tolerate for an anime, or any show in general, is 250 episodes. Anything more than that and I'ma head out, people. And Naruto is one of them. The story is so basic and simple in its premise that it honestly shouldn't be over 900 fucking episodes long and a sequel about his shitty son. Now, I have tried to watch Naruto many times. When it first aired on Cartoon Network's Toonami blog, I tried to watch the first few episodes and I just didn't like it. Years later, at around 14, which is the target age for people getting into Naruto, I tried watching it again and surprise, surprise, I still didn't like it. I don't know if it's because 90% of Naruto fans are the ones who got into it when they were teenagers, so it's a nostalgia thing keeping them tied to it. But I think the older I get, the more I'm annoyed by it, to be honest. Like, Naruto is an obnoxious little shit, Sasuke is an edgy asshole to everyone, Sakura is an emotional punching bag, Hinata is just a waifu character, and any other characters that I do like are either from one arc or just quickly swept under the rug because no one bought the figures for them. Although I will admit, the only character I like is Kakashi. He's a good boy and I love him. Also, he's not David Bowie. And also, yes, Little Karibo's A Bridge of Naruto is the only version of Naruto that I genuinely enjoy. One Piece. Look, I'm not saying every fucking anime has to be Sakamoto Shinichi or Kentaro Miura here. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. But please, for the love of all that's good in this damn world, at least make it something that looks visually appealing in some sense. The characters for One Piece is like a how-to-draw manga book from 2007. And what's even more irritating is the fact that the creator has actually somehow gotten worse in his art over the years. Now, I'm not mad at like pencil-thin waist women or some shit. I don't mind a female character having unrealistic proportions because I view that as stylized like Jessica Rabbit. However, that is not a style. In fact, I don't think that's even considered stylized anyway. Not to mention the fact that, again, 250 is the maximum episodes I'll put up with, and at over 1,000 episodes, and slowly inching to be the longest running anime series of all time, I'm gonna say no thank you, One Piece. Luffy also makes me want to scream from how much I hate him, by the way. He's literally everything I hate in a generic shonen protagonist. Any yaoi or yuri anime like Junjo Romantica or Citrus. I am not a fujoshi, first of all. Yes, I have gay canon ships like Victor and Yuri, and ones that I personally ship like Joker and Yusuke, but I ship from chemistry, not to the hot yaos or the sexy boys. Like, no, that's fetishizing gay relationships and I don't like that. If I see two characters have a lot of connections that are stronger than a friendship, fuck yeah, I'm gonna ship it. Like, I ship the two Nanas from Nana as a huge example. It's because they honestly would treat each other better than every man they've ever been with. Jeez. That being said, I don't like yaoi anime. Sure, I have exceptions like Given, Love Stage, and Yarichin Bitch Club because they either give a fuck or were genuinely entertaining. But any anime where the whole selling point is a sexually charged gay relationship, then I'ma head out. And not to mention, a lot of yaoi and yuri anime have a borderline rape scene, and I'm not comfortable with that. Like, hey, when someone says stop, maybe, oh, I don't know, stop? No means no, for goodness fucking sakes. I know it sounds crazy to be a female anime fan who isn't a fujoshi, but hey, I guess I'm the first one then. Sword Art Online. 2 years worth of whoa, Nelly plopped into Asuna. That is a canonical line from a official side story for Sword Art Online. You can look it up yourself. It's literally written by Reiki Kawahara himself as a side story for Sword Art Online. If that side chapter doesn't explain to you the quality of Sword Art Online's writing, then I don't know what does. To be honest, you can tell that literally no one making Sword Art Online has actually genuinely played a video game in like 30 years. You guys ever seen that in a writer? It's kind of like in Spy Kids 3 where they think video games are basically Toontown, if anyone is familiar with that. Mother's Basement made a great series of videos explaining that the creator of Sword Art Online has absolutely no idea how video games work, their development, or marketing, which proves that he did absolutely no research when writing his light novel. Not only is the way they treat video games absolutely obnoxious to anyone who's played a video game in the last like 5 years, but the writing itself is literally infuriating. Kirito is the worst power fantasy I have seen in an anime in my damn life, I swear. He has no personality, will suddenly learn complex coding to turn an NPC into an inventory item, but somehow not enough coding to enable the logout function of the game, thus saving millions of lives, watches people die in front of him only to be happy-go-lucky the very next episode with no regrets or proper grief, and somehow every woman who meets him wants to bang him. Bruh, I have read power fantasies written by people Kirito's actual age who wrote better power fantasies than this. Like, jeez. Doesn't help Asuna is actual garbage too. She goes from potential, character instead of just a husk for you to find hentai for yourself later, but nope. She's changed from possible badass to a stay-at-home wife who gets kidnapped every Tuesday. Damn it. Even Sakura is more useful than Asuna, jeez. I mean, there's a reason this anime appeals so much to a younger teen audience. And that's 'cause it's a gateway anime. There's nothing wrong with a gateway anime being shitty, of course. We all remember our gateway anime we thought was fucking awful now, am I right? Still, doesn't mean I have to like someone's self-insert wish fulfillment fantasy. Though, I do like Sword Art Online Alternative because it's not written by the creator of Sword Art Online, and you could tell the author at least did some research on video games, or at least has some minor experience. Raising My Wife genre. Now, if you don't know this genre, it's kinda one I made up a while ago, but I've never actually said, but this is basically what it is. You have a grown man who takes in a 5 to 8-year-old girl and raises her as his daughter his whole life until she's the legal age of consent in Japan, which is 16, and then he marries her and ends up banging her with the two of them living as a married couple now. I don't know how the fuck this became a genre, but it did. It started infamously with the anime Usagi Drop, where the manga ends with Rin wanting to bang her own fucking father at this point and wanting to have kids with him. Honey, he raised you since you were like 7. What the fuck are you doing? You know, when you see anime like I have, I'm starting to question if Japan understands or knows what a platonic relationship is. Like, you do know you can raise a child who isn't biologically related to you and keep loving them as your child, right? Like, you don't have to bang them. Platonic love exists too. Like, at some point, y'all realize you're just grooming a little girl into being the perfect wife, right? I'm gonna be honest here, this is like the damn book Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. A grown-ass man grooming a little girl because reasons. Point is, I hate this fucking genre with a passion, and it's why I dropped the anime. If it's for my daughter, I'd slay a demon lord. Just no. Honorable mentions! These are anime I don't like this very moment, but I'm legitimately willing to give it a chance, thus it's more indifference. Elfen Lied. Basically, it's some guy's fetishes made into a manga than an anime. I watched the anime just to say I have, but I don't like a mental torture fetish, thank you very much. I mean, I love angst, but there's a difference between angst and mental torture. Not to mention, Elfen Lied has the worst trope possible, which is young female character with the mentality of a 9-year-old getting taken in by a guy cause, it's got some grooming alarms and I don't like it. Fairy Tail. It's harmless, but it's basically just a bad Disney Channel show that doesn't know when to end. Assassination Classroom. I'll definitely watch it at some point, but to me, I always thought of it as a Danganronpa clone. I guess what didn't help was that it released around the same time Danganronpa was blowing up in popularity, so... Inuyasha. Kagome! Inuyasha! Kagome! Boruto. It's literally just Harry Potter and the Cursed Child with a Naruto skin over it. Umaru-chan. It's a big mood for a kawaii anime girl to come home just to be a bean. Like, that's a huge mood for me. But Umaru-chan is just a little too annoying for me to enjoy it. And now for number 1, the moment you've all been waiting for. Number 1, Black Clover. There's paying homage to the series who came before you, kind of like a magical girl having a Sailor Moon reference. And then there's blatant copying to a point where you got Mr. Lawyer knocking on your door. Black Clover is not only just Naruto with a European fantasy skin over it, but it's also the most generic and clearly made for money anime I have seen in my entire life. And I've heard some say it gets good in its 2nd season, or that the manga gets good about 200 chapters later. But I ask you this, for anime fans, if it takes you 50 episodes for you to finally enjoy something, then it's not a good show. Sure, I don't mind if it takes about 3 or 4 episodes for it to get good. I know I didn't like My Hero Academia and Death Note when I only watched the first episode, because both had really sloppy footing, but by episode 3 after that, now My Hero Academia and Death Note are some of my favorite anime of all time. For my fellow manga readers, imagine if you had to read the first 3 Harry Potter books before you started to like it. Like, if it takes you that long to like a series, or just it takes that long to get good, then either you don't like it or move on because it's not a good series. On top of it, the characters and story of Black Clover is just so generic that I can only imagine someone watching it because it's just on and they have nothing better to do. Name the main character of Black Clover. Name any other motivation he has other than screaming and wanting to be the best mage or some shit. Like, is he a mega fanboy about someone? Does he like mind games? We don't know. All we know is he wants to be the best. Hell, Ash Ketchum has more personality than the main character, and it took Ash 20 years just to win the Pokemon League. Black Clover is basically a combination of all anime I don't like. The generic, overly broad power of friendship trope of fairy tale, the unnecessarily dragged out plot of Naruto, attempting to be edgy designs of Bleach, and a protagonist who screeches more than the birds at the pet store like One Piece. It's basically just a copy and paste of every shonen anime that came before it, and it's just so damn generic. It's kind of like a really corporately made TV show, like, I guess, Riverdale? Yeah, some people think it's good, but it doesn't change the fact that it plays it safe way too much. I kid you not, I don't like Black Clover so damn much that I cringe a little anytime I see merch for it at Hot Topic or Box Lunch. And I know this is a very controversial one to put at number 1, because like Sword Art Online, it's a very popular gateway anime. Again, there's nothing wrong with a gateway anime being really shitty, but that doesn't mean I have to like it, and Black Clover is one of them. I hope you enjoyed the list though. I know this is a controversial one to put on here, but a lot of people really like my unpopular opinions, I guess. And as I said, this was actually a very highly requested video. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, then be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're new. And if any old or new subs would like to help support the channel in any way, then feel free to visit my Ko-fi page down below in the description, along with my social media tabs. For any subscribers, new or old, who'd like to help with video ideas or maybe want to talk about anime or something, then I have a fan server linked down below. See you next time!